Hello, fellow human beings. Welcome to this episode of the Elegantly Raw Tidbits, Monday to Fridays at this exact same time on this same platform with me below. Please click the subscribe and notification buttons so that we can communicate here. I'm talking today about limiting our feelings and our experiences or allowing them. So, what do I mean by this? Well, think of it. When someone is ill, when somebody has an injury, what do I hear often, most often, or what do you hear? Get well soon, feel better soon, have a speedy recovery. As if having an injury or feeling ill is not a viable and a legitimate experience in life. As if there's something wrong with being ill, when illness is really the body's way of getting our attention and throwing off all the unwanted and the unnecessary and the blockaging of the functioning of our bodies. That's what illness is. Illness is to be celebrated because it's the body's way of getting our attention when it has given us signals before. And yes, it does give us signals before, but we haven't listened. So it's its way of communicating with us and saying slow down, or simply stop, rest, recuperate, and listen. Get in touch with me. You're here as a biological body, as a biological being, and you're living outside of me as if I don't exist. And you keep pushing and putting all of these things in me that are toxic and poison. Please stop and pay attention now. But instead, we do not celebrate this with people. Instead, we say feel better or get better soon or have a speedy recovery. So if somebody falls down the stairs and breaks their ankle or the foot, we say, oh, I'm so sorry. In other words, that experience is not welcome. That experience is less than and it's not good enough. That experience says that you are not good enough because you're now experiencing this. I need you to be good enough by getting better quickly. That means that experiencing a broken foot and ankle is an experience that is not worthy to experience. It means that you are not behaving and doing what is expected of you. You're not good enough. But every single experience in our life is valid. We came here on earth in these amazing, incredible encasings that we call a body. And we're meant to live the highs and the lows, go up to the mountain, and then get back down into the valley and live all the spaces in between them. All of the experiences, whether it's being at the top of the mountain, deep in the valley, in the mess and in the mud, and being on a mountain top, like in the sound of music with flowers and music and dancing, as if one is more valued than the other. But in truth, please, fellow human beings, hear me out. Every experience is valid. We live in a very generous and very loving universe that gives us exactly what we need when we need it. And we need to celebrate it instead. Everything needs to be validated. Everything is valid. We cannot live our lives on one level, experiencing the same thing all the time. To wish somebody have a good weekend, what does that mean? First of all, there are people like me who work on Saturdays and Sundays. So if it means enjoy your time away from work, and what if you don't want to enjoy it? What if you want, that's the time for you to go deep into the depths of the grieving that you have no time for when you're working? What if it means that's the time that you need to feel your sorrow? What if it means that is the time for you to sit with yourself and feel the loneliness of having so many people around you at work and feeling so desperately lonely? What is the time, what if that's the only time that you spend with yourself, that you have time to hear yourself, be with yourself, create space for yourself? What if you need that time to feel the depths of despair or the traumas in the past that you've never allowed yourself to feel? But no, you've been told to feel only one thing. Have a good weekend, enjoy the weekend. Or happy Wednesday, happy Friday. But what if you just want to feel all of the pain, of the misery that you're experiencing on that Friday or that Wednesday? Why are you being told happy this, happy that? There's not just any one way of being in life. And when we do that, we cut ourselves off from the full spectrum of all the experiences of life, and therefore from life itself. And that's why we fear death. And as Rumi said, I learned that every mortal will taste death, but only some will taste life. Only when we fully experience and we allow ourselves to fully engage in all the experience of life will we feel the rapture of being alive. Because being alive does not mean we feel just one way or one thing. It means that we feel the full spectrum of our feelings. And again, Rumi, feelings are just visitors. So allow them to come and go. Just let them come and go and just be. Allow yourself to be by saying, I am. So whatever comes up for you is valid. Whatever you're feeling is valid. Your feelings, every one of your feelings, every single one is valid. Validate them by not trying to feel better, by not wishing somebody else to feel better. What if we, instead of saying to somebody, feel better, or in the morning when we're leaving home, instead of saying, have a happy Wednesday or enjoy your day, what if we say, enjoy all the full experiences of the day? Or we say, I wish for you the allowance of everything that you feel today. What if we wished people, may you allow yourself to be fully engaged in all of your activities today? In other words, be fully engaged in grief, be fully engaged in joy, be fully engaged in silence, be fully engaged in noise. In other words, one experience is not better than the other. That's why we're so miserable. We only want one experience, and that's the only thing that's validated. And this is because of the social conditioning. We've got to throw it off. No wonder there's so much addiction when we only feel, and that is only one way of being in the world that's legitimate, and we walk around wishing people happy this, happy that, speedy recovery, then we're not allowing them the full vibrational energies that they are to experience all of life. So your feelings are just visitors. Stop being scared of them. Let them just come and go, and then you will allow that for other people as well. And as Rumi again said, this place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief. That's why we take life too seriously, because we're not allowed to feel all of our feelings, only certain ones, and all the time we have to feel that way, because there's only one way of being in the world. No, there isn't. Just like there's so many different of us with different color hair, different color eyes, very different perceptions of different experiences in our lives. It's every perception is valid. One is not more valid than the other. So Rumi again said, the world exists as you perceive it. It is not what you see, but how you see it. It is not what you hear, but how you hear it. It is not what you feel, but how you feel it. And so there are different ways, many different ways of perceiving life, many different ways of seeing the same experience, many different ways of hearing the same music. No two people hear the same music alike. And it's not what you feel, but how you feel it. And that can change at different times in your life. You'll feel the same experience, so your experience of that same occurrence will be different. Allow it. It's valid. Validate ourselves. by allowing ourselves the full spectrum of all our feelings. So as Rumi said, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. If you really feel that you must run around and wish everybody a happy this, or speedy recovery or whatever, remember there are people without limbs who have the exact same perception that we do of happiness and of life. But if you only perceive them one way, then you're telling them that they're not good enough. There are people in life who are not able to speak in words, but they sure can speak with music. There are people who are not able to hear, but they still have the same encasing of a body that we have. Think about Beethoven when he lost his hearing. His hearing became stronger because it was a different kind of hearing. When I was almost dying, and I almost died 2 times in my life, I mean, truly. And I mean, I was going over to the other side. I remember that all of my senses got so eliminated and got so strong. I heard things I never heard before. I did. When I tasted something, I tasted tastes I didn't hear before. All of my senses were multiplied and amplified. It was in ecstasy that I had these experiences, but I was dying and other people were so sorry for me and felt awful and were crying, and I was in ecstasy. I was ecstatic. Dying can be ecstatic, just like living can be. If you live in the full rapture of your life, by allowing yourself all the waves of life, all the experiences, the ins and outs, the goings and comings, releasing people, welcoming others, then you will find that you welcome life in pure rapture. And then as you allow this body to fall away and you go back into the spirit world, you can say, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, so I'm changing myself, I'm changing my form. Please click the subscribe and the notification buttons below and join me here for more. And please, in the comments below, let me know what social condition you're willing to give up, so you do not approach people and wish them to be only one way in this world. Allow them the beauty, the full beauty of all of their experiences, of the full beauty and the full height and the full depth and the full lowering of all of their experiences. Thank you.